Hey, Tim Alden here. We're going to show you how to build this cool credit card wallet. It's also got a money clip in the back here. These patterns you can purchase on our website, aldenleathersupply.com. If you don't want to spend the money for the plexiglass pattern, you can buy the PDF downloadable pattern, cut it out, glue it to plastic, glue it to cardstock, whatever you got to do. But that'll be available. We'll also have this floral pattern available. It'll come with both of these patterns. So that's an option. See you at the carving bench. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my border on this. I'm gonna use my easy border tool on the sides. Just gonna run it down, stop where things jump out. And since this is such lightweight leather, we're not going to cut this too deep. Everything we do is going to be fairly shallow. And then I'm going to cut the top with my swivel knife, just because when you come into interior corners, that won't cut all the way through. You have to use our swivel knife anyways, so go ahead. So now that we got all those, go ahead and cut our design, and just want to kind of cut it a little on the light side. So we're going to use our #1 Berry King lifter, and we want to be real careful. Pretty much everything that we do with this leather, pretty thin, and so we don't want to punch a hole in it. Start out with this guy, do all our small radiuses. Jump up to our number 3 Berry King checkered beveler here. Alrighty, now that we're done with our beveling, we're going to do some backgrounding. Alrighty, so let's background this. We've let it dry out a little bit just because it's thin leather. We don't want to punch any holes with our bar grounder. It's a number 35 5-seed bar grounder. So just want to go a little easy on this. Just tip your tool up. You can kind of work your way around those tight spots, just one dot at a time. That's why I don't buy one of the smaller versions, just another tool to have to pick up when I can do it with the one I have. Okay, I think that's all of our backgrounding, and we're gonna go ahead and do some shading. Okay, so we're going to start out with our smooth thumbprint here. Roll around, taper off. Do our little seed pod here, opposite direction. Create some depth and shading coming out of there. And we're also going to shade right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark our flower center. This is number 69, Wayne Juski flower center. Mark that, and then we're going to go ahead and use our smooth thumbprint again. We're just going to shade out from our flower center. And we want a little bit on the outside of these petals just to give it some depth there. We don't want to go too far with this. To the sides. On a pretty steep angle at first. Slightly covering seeds of our flower center. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and sink our flower center here. And then go ahead and use our number 2 lined veiner on our dominant petals coming in here. Then we're also going to use that same veiner here to outline our seed pod. Use our aught lifter to open that up a little bit more. And we're going to take our lined vertical thumbprint and go ahead and line our leaf here. And we're going to take our number 1 scalloped and lined veiner. We're just going to roll around here, just over the edge of that leaf. Go ahead and use it the opposite curve. You can decorate these leaves however you want. There's all sorts of ways to do that, different combinations of scalloped veiner versus smooth veiner, and just you're only limited by your imagination. Go ahead and use our 45 5-seed bar grounder to shade our flower stem, just kind of creating a little texture to this, kind of a V shape coming down. Also gonna come back and connect the dots. There's a little bit of a tab here that I just feel like it would be better if it was separate. Go ahead and take the mule's foot, kind of lighten up as you go in a little group. Try not to overuse the mule's foot. Just every once in a while, put a small group of them together. Just kind of creates some different looks and kind of breaks things up a bit. I think we're ready for some swivel knife work. So on these flowers, we're going to keep them pretty basic. Just do one cut rolling out. Kind of give it a little bit of flow and direction by all of these cuts spiraling out the same direction. Okay, I think that'll do it. We'll go ahead and basket stamp this other side and let it dry out. Put some finish on it before we stitch it together. I'm going to go a little bit wider border on the background, or on the back piece, just to make sure there's a pretty narrow little spot for our stitching. And sometimes the needle will take the path of least resistance or just kind of do funky stuff on the back side of leather. So not much, just a sliver more. Marking our corners where we want to stop the borders. Okay. So we're going to set up our line that we're going to basket stamp at. Just going to run right across here. And this is a oval center #2 Berry King basket stamp. And with this, we're just going to go diagonally across that line. We want the back corner and then the top front corner to back bottom corner, top front corner to be right on that line. And line up, overlap that one, and then keep our front corner on that line. After we've gotten our first line on there, we're going to go ahead and go as far back to the right as we can. Because if we went this direction and we tipped our stamp out a little bit, our next one wouldn't fit. So we're going to go as far back as we can. We're just going to get kind of a marker there. That'll be border stamped anyways. To get our next one in line, we're going to overlap both bars there. And just continue forward. Mark our corner. Let's get as much as we can of that one. We're going to go back as far as we can, keep that as square as possible. Go ahead and turn it around and get the other side. We're going to put a little bit more water on this. Start as far back as we can on the right side. That way everything lines up. Alrighty, then we're going to go ahead and take our number 3 checkered beveler here, bevel our border before we come back with our border stamp. Okay, so we've got our little Berry King border stamp here. Sometimes I'll kind of take a look at how much room we got here. Kind of plan these out a little bit. Might space them a little bit more. Just enough for one to sit right in the corner there. Okay, so we're ready to let this dry out and put some finishes on it, and we'll go to putting it together. Well, thanks for stopping by. Hope you like this video. We'll see you next time.